Nice.
Hey, everybody. This is Jason and Jennifer Hall here, my wife, and we have our special guest, Corey Tabitha Davis. This is part 3 of an amazing series that we're doing with them from the Davis perspective, A Rich Marriage. This is season 2. You don't want to miss. It's so cool. You can go back and check out what you've missed. But we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship and money. You know, today that's what money and marriage. You know, that's a big topic, y'all. You know, unfortunately, a lot of divorces and relationships are destroyed because of money.
Yeah,
you know, they literally can destroy your marriage or end a relationship. And Jennifer, man, you have some great questions for them. Let's start out, asking some of those questions because, marriage, money, entrepreneurship, jobs, we're living in a challenging economy,
Yes.
But at the same time, we're living in an economy that's the greatest it's ever been.
Right.
So there's more opportunity. There's more, exactly right.
Good
It's
and
always
bad.
good and the bad. People losing jobs, people gaining businesses. And so we'd love to hear you all. I want to mention, it's been a tremendous blessing for me that this couple right here, especially Corey, we've been coached by Corey to learn about some entrepreneurship and business. So if you ever need a coach, you got some wonderful couples right here, But they're amazing. They got so much wisdom and knowledge. Probably I would argue that Tabitha has all the Holy Spirit wisdom that she pours into her husband, Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, if I would have listened to her a couple years ago, I'd probably be a little better off.
We got a little bit.
We got something though. We gotta give ourselves credit. But ultimately,
A little measure.
Yeah, a little measure. We
Shaking and stirring.
Right. Yeah. We know some stuff. But man, I'm so excited to hear from them today. And Jen, what you got?
Yeah, man. Thank y'all so much again for being back with us. As we said, y'all go check out part 1 and part 2. But part 3, let's dive into. I know you all have an amazing story of your transition from corporate to entrepreneurship and how that has impacted your marriage, your family, and how your faith together has impacted that journey. So,
Well, good. Well, for me, Tap's pretty much been entrepreneur for the balance of our whole marriage. Being in cosmetology, doing hair, and then she's also been doing some different ventures as well. Here and there as well. So for me though, I've been more of Navy 8 years, corporate for 16. I tried my hand at entrepreneurship when I left the Navy, and I left a corporate job that was only there for like a year or so. I was in sales, and that was my big learning experience. Had to, almost ran out of my 401k and had to run back to work, which is fine,
Yes.
And that's one of the things. Like sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, and it was like my testing period of kind of failing, but it was great. I was still failing forward, and spent 16 years in corporate. And then decided to leave my corporate job it was June 6th of 2020. So if you think about it, like what happened in the world at that point, 3 months before the world shut down, and we were in quote COVID and everything else that happened. But I left that job in 3 months after COVID started, and it was one of those things that even. Tabitha, she was always telling me, like, hey, go do it. It's time to grow. But, of course, for me, I was like, I got to pay bills. And the first thing I thought about was the first time I failed when I left before. So, and that can cloud your judgment, especially as an entrepreneur, because that one time that tape will continue to run over and over and over in your life. And it can poison the next season if you don't watch out. So, but yeah, we were blessed over the last, 3 to 4 years, built the business to a little over $3.3 million. Helped a lot of folks really make a positive impact in their communities. But it's a testament of saying if you stick with something and you go at it and you go after it, then there's also the blessings on the other side. So when I say that failing forward thing was, I kind of use a model of test, fail, learn, improve, re-enter now. Instead of test and fail and quit, it's test, fail, learn, improve, re-enter, and keep re-entering that process. And I call it it's like a failure model, but it's really a success model. Because following that, people say, hey, how did you build $1 billion per year business? Well, I failed every step of the way until we got it right. And we just kept on going. We kept on going. And then now, you get more and more opportunities as you continue to grow.
Love it. Wow, that's amazing. We have this, man, we've met several couples who over the last 3-4 years or so, and they, what do y'all do? And, ask us about our story and different things like that. And so many times we've heard husbands say, man, like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
And one time we had this one particular husband, the wife was right there, and he asked her, like, would you let me do, like, would you be okay if I did that? Or would you let me do that? She was like, no way. She's like, I love my life. She's like, I love this life.
She's trying to hold on to what she has. Not knowing what she could live into on the next season. But yeah, you're right.
We've seen it countless times. I know it was a particular moment, like you said, where Tabitha's like, wait a minute. Like, there's more.
There's more. I see it.
Wow.
It's right there. I see it. I see the calling. I see the vision of where God is wanting you to go.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I think, I was listening to it was Jim Carrey. I think it was a commencement address. He was talking about his dad. And he was like, my dad was a good accountant. But he could have been a great one, but he also wanted to do pursue a career in something, but he didn't. So what it was, he said he ended up getting fired out of the job that he didn't want. So he said one of the things it
was comedy.
And he said one of the things he found out was you can fail at what you don't want. So why not pursue what you do want? There's another one, Steve Jobs, in his commencement address. I think that was probably one of the greatest speeches out there when he was talking, I think Stanford or something, but he was saying that, hey, you are already naked. So why don't you go out and go? So it's one of those things like, we want to hold on to what we have, and sometimes it's the right time. But for me, it was just different, and it was like I knew there was a pursuit of more out there, and it was a higher calling. But I'll tell you, there's a cost in it all.
Oh yeah.
There's a cost to learning. There's a cost of building. There's a cost of all this, and I'm learning that cost. And sometimes the cost is higher than you really want. And sometimes it takes longer than you really want. But I'd say this is more rewarding than you ever thought it would be, taking people on a journey. Because I know in the beginning, I took my youngest daughter on the journey with me. She rang the bell every time we got a client. And then, but I was saying to her every day, hey, Zoe, we're building a 7-figure per year business.
Wow.
Now, we only did about, $15,000 at the time. But we were building, I was telling her, I was setting vision.
Yeah.
So like setting the tone for vision for her. And then when we did get that achievement, that we got that award in the mail and we took that picture, it was first $1 million award, right? Out of, building a business out of a Facebook group. People were like, they thought it was crazy. Like, you go build this on a Facebook group? Yeah, I'm going to do it. What if Facebook closed down and blah, blah, blah? And then I was like, what if it doesn't? And you're still doing exactly what you're doing. That's going to be a problem. Well, it didn't shut down. And if it did, guess what? We just moved to another platform. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
There's an abundance mindset.
Yes.
There's always a way, all right? Yeah, there's not just one way or the other way. It's always another way. Like, it's always another way. And then when I look at that, and you look at Zoe today, winning the Junior Olympics, running varsity track in the 9th grade. Right now, she's in 10th, and she has the fastest score in the 400. Well, she has now a certain level of perseverance because it's kind of like now you're building a legacy, taking somebody else on the journey with you. Yeah. And now she's growing up in a whole different mindset of what's possible. Wow. She knows, and I think that's part of us as parents. And sometimes, whatever we do, whether building a business or whatever, it doesn't matter. We should show our kids the art of the possible.
Yeah.
Of the possible.
Love that.
Now, let me speak to that. That's powerful,
yes.
by the way.
Yes.
It's interesting enough, 2 years ago, my daughter, that's 18 now, she actually changed my perspective about money. It was so powerful, and I recently shared it. But we were in the mall for Father's Day about 2 years ago, and we were getting ready to go to a trip to Florida, go to Disney for the first time. We had never been, and we were looking at stuff and, different things. My daughter's like, oh, buy me some shoes, buy my, son some shoes. Like, they look at me, I'm like, it's Father's Day. I should be getting stuff. You know what I mean? Like, But then she said, she looked at me very serious, and I know she has a prophetic gift, but she doesn't even aware of what she said. She don't know it. It literally changed my whole thinking and my perspective and my life in so many ways. But she said, Daddy, it'll never run out.
Oof. Come
And
on.
I was like, what do you mean it'll never run out? Like, it's going to run out because I have I was thinking what I have in my bank account.
Right.
But God was like, through her, said, Jason, it'll never run out. And from that day, I thought, how can I live a life where my money will never run out? I don't have, it changed from thinking I got to save 5-10 million for retirement to how can I be making that in my regular life without working,
Right.
but having my money working for me.
Right.
And so it was a different, it was a whole different shift.
man.
And I was like, still ain't getting the shoes. Until your birthday.
Well, the shoes
not today.
Thank you for the perspective.
Thank you for that.
I still said no. But it was just the thinking. And so let me ask y'all this. Because I know that, or maybe you didn't, there was some financial challenges along the way, right? You've shared, right, in your marriage as a whole. So how did you work together or work separate, or maybe you had some thinking that you've shared on money with your careers, your jobs, your businesses? Like, how did you get that shared thinking? Because I know there has to be some commonalities on finances, right? You come together and we'll transition and start talking about what does your marriage and money look like? Like, how do you build a rich marriage with money? Because money is not everything, but money is essential.
Right.
Money is needed, right? So how do you deal with that as a couple? How have you shifted your mindset? And what are you because you as a wife, like, oh my goodness, how did you like even tell your husband, like, you can go do that business? Because that's a risk.
Yeah, it is totally a risk.
Risky.
Is it? Or is it a risk? Perspective.
I know, but is it a
risk?
risk? Life is risky, though.
Yeah, life is risky.
I mean,
But I feel like since God showed me what he's supposed to be doing, it was more of a risk not to do what God has told you to do and where he's placing you to go.
Yeah.
That was more of a risk.
Okay.
And so when he said that he wanted to do it full time and leave corporate, God had also told me to leave and go pursue school and things like that. So it got really challenging saying, how are you going to do this?
5 kids.
And,
You know.
and having the entrepreneur mindset, right? So coming from the cosmetology world and not working with the corporation, but owning my own, knowing the ups and downs and what that may look like, and the difficulties with him working and mine's going up and down, and needing to get what you need for your business and continuing education to have to pay for that to succeed, right?
Yes.
And knowing all of those factors, I'm like, again, it's more of a risk not to, because God has told you to go this way.
Wow.
yeah.
And then trusting, can you give up this beautiful thing that you have going on and turn it over to God, trusting him and go. And being able to help him see, like, hey, like, oh, this time, oh yeah, I got this, this client, then nothing, like, I'm like, yep, that's what it looks like. And I'm like, hey babe, sometimes when you're a new business owner, sometimes it can take 3 to 5 years to actually really see the steadiness and I was like, it's going to be okay.
Still reminding myself of that.
It's okay. Yep, this is kind of normal. This is normal. It's stressful. It is stressful. And being able to talk that through and still pursue it was the best thing that we could have done. We wouldn't have known it in that moment, but I've known it. But for him to realize it and actually walk to it was just amazing to see as someone who is standing by his side,
Yes.
Yeah, I think it takes a certain level of trust, and I thank her for trusting me enough to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I talk to people all the time who want to do what I do, and the big thing is they get shut down by their spouse, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know what that looks like. That's just up to them how they pursue their own relationships.
Yeah.
But the problem I had was I think I read the book called The Dream Giver, and I don't know if I gave that book to you.
You did actually.
I did get that book
You
to
gave
you.
it to me.
And that book wrecked me. That book wrecked my life, I guess you could call it. I remember picking it up, read it. Took 4 hours to read, I think, and it's very easy to read, but I saw myself in there, and then I saw what God was doing. So like, that was that part in the book where he asked the ordinary to give the dream back. And it was kind of like me, I made it up to corporate. I was in HR. I was over like 8 states and, I had 200 locations and, car and travel budget and everything else, right?
Computer.
And then to see all of that get taken away, not really taken away, given away, because I gave it away. And it was like, I'm giving you back this dream. Watching that corporate car get jacked up on the flatbed, pop out, and they let me keep the printer though. It still works. I mean, it's all good, But then weaning myself off the paycheck drug, and it's like I remember in the beginning taking out. I had money set aside, and by the way, when we made the jump, I didn't just jump over.
Right. So think wise about it.
I had money set aside, right? And I actually. I knew that I was have to use a certain amount to make this happen. To buy, it's kind of like it was I think it was a story in the Bible when the man found that field and he took everything and gave it.
Yes.
I remember listening, when I was a big reader of Think and Grow Rich. And then there was a time where the guy went to the storekeeper and they were saying that he was watching the man talk to the guy in the back, and they were talking about this formula that he had written on the paper. Well, that storekeeper gave $500, which is his life savings for that one little formula. But what the problem was, the guy didn't have imagination. You see, in business, it takes imagination and creativity. See, we were created to create from a creator. And that guy's imagination took that formula, put it to work, and that became Coca-Cola. Wow. You see, out of $500. So I think about, like, when you think about business, you think about opportunities, it's all about, can you imagine and create something special? Because at this point, what I am bulletproof on my vision is, if I did need money, I can create an offer and I can create something that actually will work online. I know how to source my own leads, get my own client acquisition method going. So it's, but that was some skills I didn't know in the beginning. So like when we were launching, she was always there to help me, to support. Even though when she didn't understand everything that was happening, I was excited for different things.
It's number one choice.
And and even making the investments. I mean, bearing in mind, me and my business partner at the time, we invested over $365,000 in learning. Wow. You don't build a business that fast without learning. So for me, it was strategic investments to build faster. I was buying time. I was buying that. I was buying the success without having to make the mistakes. So I was willing to do some of those things. So that actually helped in the process. And today, I mean, get an opportunity to work with some of the best clients in the world and, having some fun. And my business is different today than it was before. It evolves. So, I'm just kind of enjoying the moment at this point as it's evolving right now. So
that's amazing.
And being able to be his, like when he was talking about him and his business partner at the time was dropping this for his education and getting different programs and paying. And on the background of being a supporter, knowing that you wanted to do some of the similar things and go back to school. And then your time is like, not now, but he's pursuing it, not being a competition, right? I'm not in a competition with my spouse, right? I'm there to support him. And so your time is not now. Doesn't mean not ever.
Right.
And be present where God has called you to be. Like, hey, be there, be happy for him and cheer him on and listen to where he's saying that he wants to go, his dream, right?
Yes.
What he has on his board. And like, yep, babe.
And the good thing about that, though, too, is the only investment that I actually used our own money was the first one. I remember buying into a $10,000 program January of 2021. So it was January 2021. I bought that. And then everything else outside of that came, the business funded it. So like that was like the big thing is make sure the business is funding that. So that way you don't have to actually fund it yourself.
Yes.
So like there's a lot of like strategic moves that America has set up for the business owner that I've been still learning in the process 3 years later, learning and enjoying the learning process because you know how I operate today. I actually end up giving that whole business to my business partner, and then over the last 7 months, launched another S corp. So like it's just kind of like evolving and learning, and then being able to have him come in now is the right time. Now hire him as an employee or a contractor to do some things versus like you know. So there's some different learnings and you know, and being able to help him in the process right now, and we kind of still kind of help each other. So, because he's still like a brother to me, like it's like you know, and it's been a great opportunity to pursue. But I think the best part is having this faith based on understanding.
Right.
Like you don't have to see it working to know it's working. You know.
Yes.
And that's what this process is about. Like. God has given you a vision, but He's not necessarily going to tell you when it's going to come to pass.
Right.
But just know that every seed has a gestation period. That if you plant it in the ground, you water it, it has the nutrients. Is eventually going to show up, and when it does show up, you're gonna be like, "All right, this is good." Because I even watch y'all journey. I watch you as you make that leap, and y'all doing things, and we were. Buying things from y'all because buying the shirts.
Yes.
Y'all made all of our swag, and you know, and it continues to do that. So, you know, it's people like you all that even inspired me to be able and us, and you know, to be married and have business owners, and both of us are business owners.
Yes, yes.
Like that's where you know we have to buy that other insurance outside, right?
Yes.
But you know, but just like for us now, that you know, it's okay. You know,
absolutely,
everything's gonna be okay because God's pre-designed it.
And giving him the praise. Ultimately, he's our provider, right? He owns everything, right?
Yes.
And then trusting him with what you have is saying, hey, this happened, you know, we got this client or we got this going on. Give God his first, right?
Yes.
Kingdom-minded, be like, you know, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for providing me with this person. Thank you for letting me work with this person. Thank you for allowing me to be at the right place at the right time. Thank you for continuously showing up because I had no idea this person was going to get on my calendar or this person was going to order something or you know, you just never know. And just say, giving God, like, I have no control and of this at all, but you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah, and being in the moment of being off for every single time because you never know what God's going to do. But it's like, I remember there was some times I looked at our PayPal balance when we were going, and me and my business partner, and our balance was at $4. Like literally $4. And then I was like, okay, what is going to happen? This is not what it's supposed to look like.
that should have been came in.
You know, I got an ad running. I turn off my ads? And then later on that day, you know, we had sales closes at the time. Somebody else was doing our closing because we evolved in the business, and then all of a sudden, you know, somebody bought a $9,600 program. It changes everything. Now you're like, oh, okay, here we go. But in the beginning, like, oh my gosh. So it's a test of faith.
That roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster of emotions in business. But you know,
he didn't look like that. So I'm rocking.
He's rocking a little bit.
That's how he was.
I'm telling you, you feel like going cry in the corner. And it's funny because I was sharing with y'all earlier.
I forget it says it's $4.
Yeah, you know what I said? It's $4. Like, you know. You know, and I go back, you know, I laugh because one of my mentors, I remember Chris Robinson, he's in the John Maxwell faculty, and he would say, man, you know, nobody's going to care about the guy crying in the lecture. And every time I think about, like, man, am I going to go cry in the lecture? So, but what I found is if you just stay at it, you know, you just keep at it, and growth will come.
Yeah.
Pray over your finances. Pray over your business.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs is if you're kingdom minded, if your foundation is God Almighty, the Yahweh, the one and only,
you gotta stay true.
You gotta stay true. You gotta stay anchored and pray over your company, your business,
Clients.
your clients, you know, because sometimes they could be struggling, trying to make the decision to make that next step. And you can see it, you know, it's the right thing to do, but ultimately God is the one that pushes, right? The Holy Spirit pushes them into the right. So continue to keep praying all things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this is so great. Because I know that people say, you know, well, this money can destroy a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be frank. It could really destroy. But for you guys, it just enhance who you already are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're givers, you're naturally your kingdom, right? So what has building a business enhanced and made more rich in your marriage? What has it afforded you to do? More importantly, how has it afforded your marriage to grow more rich and being as opposed to just doing? Because doing is a part of it, but your beings have changed dramatically. So the mindset of people watching, like, how has this enhanced and made your marriage more rich? Because I heard your stories of struggle in the beginning, and you had $4. So so you haven't always been rich, right? But as far as spiritually, you know, connected with God, the source, but other things that you've been afforded to do tangibly as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for us, you know, I would just say, like, yeah, we share accounts. We don't have any different separate things. I know that might not be the same as everybody, and that's okay. Whatever works for you. But as far as, you know, just focusing, it's for me, it's you know, being able to travel. It's time freedom. It's not being able to ask money, may I go do this? And I've asked that too many times in my life. Now, there's times when I know, like even right now, I'm working with a big major client, launching their global expansion and just doing a lot of things. And I'm not making as much as I could be if I was launching my own offer. So you got to be flexible with that. But I know long-term wise, this is going to be bigger than anything else that and God got me pre-designed in the spot. So always understanding that you're in the right spot, you're in the right place. It's been the comfort zone. Well, not the comfort zone. I don't know. It's been the comfort for me because knowing that God is already going to take it. He's gonna take care of me. So no matter what. But I want to have time freedom. I want to be able to travel. We were traveling. Sometimes we were traveling 3, 4, 5 times a year. I remember we went to a 7-day cruise with the family, staying in a 2-story suite on a ship. And if you're on a cruise, you never stay in a 2-story suite. You need to go ahead, right? Like it's like, you know, why not, right? And that's one of the things, the questions I kind of ask is why not? And it's like people say, why are you staying in a 2-story suite? Why not? Well, now you got 2 butlers, and you got you can go to a lounge where everything's included. And then 2 weeks later, we went to a 5-day in Playa del Carmen, and all inclusive. But I want to be able to make those moves. You know, I think that when God designed this earth, He made places that we should go experience. And how can you not experience? How can you experience it if you're not able to bring money? And look, money is not the most important thing. And I have people, Christians, good faith people, that tell me like they don't care about money. Their money's not important. Then I have to ask them, well, then why are you working 60 hours a week for something that's not important?
You said that right.
And if you think about it, like, okay, well, it's not important. You're working 60 hours a week. That should tell me that something is important about it. So, and I'm not saying that that's the most important thing.
Sure.
Right.
You know, but what it is in the world's economy, you got to have it to be able to go do commerce in the economy. And then, of course, at the same time, it also can be used as your tool to witness to people because it does make you more attractive in other people's eyes and in the worldly eyes. So if you are the attractive person and they come to you, guess what you can be? You can be that gospel witness to them and evangelize. And it just kind of, there's always, it's a tool to be used. Right. And you use it effectively to where you want to go. Now you can give more. Yeah. You can go give more to society. You can go give more to your church. You can go help other people. You can be like the Good Samaritan. See, the Good Samaritan was in the Bible because he prayed and he could pay. So now, can you get to a point where now I can pray for you and then I can pay for it?
Wow.
And that's where I kind of think about for money in the business. And now today I want my business to fund those projects.
Yes.
So now I've been doing strategic things in my new business, learning from what I had in the other business, but this new business to fund even more kingdom projects. So
Amen to that.
Amazing. So amazing. Yeah, just talking the whole time this, or we have this concept in some of our marriage coaching, we talk about alignment. And I just see that all in and throughout your lives and your marriage and your business, right? Your alignment with your relationship with God, your alignment with each other, your belief in this man, and your positioning and alignment to be able to see what God placed inside of him so that you could speak to that and draw it forth. And now your alignment within your purpose and your calling. And how that is now flowing out from your lives, your marriage now into your children, legacy building, right? And then out into the world. And it's just so beautiful to see. It's just, y'all are living it out. You're living it out. Also, I heard you say competition.
Yeah.
Something we talk about often. We also have this concept. We talk about like the power of two, right? And y'all are living that. Right, it just so boldly, so richly, in your lives and in your marriage, right? Like we get a better return, right, for our reward. The power of two concept is biblical, and when we can do that in our marriage, it's when I win, he wins. When he wins, we win together, right? It's not about
you see him, you see me, you see me, you see him.
There's no competition. You're both entrepreneurs, but it's a working together. There's an alignment and a flow throughout your lives and your marriage with each other. That's just so beautiful and rich. So this has been so good. So good. I don't know if there's anything else there.
I can go on, but that's, I got a free masterclass just now. You got.
I hope y'all taking notes. I hope.
I will say this: if you are single or if you are married, if you have not gone through a marriage counseling you need to do that.
Yes.
Pretty much some of the things that we've gone through and didn't see, we went through it through our marriage counseling.
Yes.
To put those eyes on those conversation pieces, finances, because like you mentioned before, is the number one thing why people get divorced. It could be a crucial, crushing thing that happens to wonderful couples.
Absolutely.
So we didn't have that and talked about if we're going to get a joint account, separate account. What if I wanted to stay home from work and raise kids? Yeah. How does he feel about that? Does he feel like it should be two-stream income? What does that look like?
It's critical.
And what is your thinking on that? Is it going to be always? Is that a straight, stern, this is how it's going to be? Yeah. It would never change. I don't care if we have no kids or more kids, and having that conversation and knowing the expectation of one another, because another thing that causes is an unmet expectation, right?
Yes.
And if you've never talked about it, written it down, because you did a series about writing down your dreams, right? What does your dream board look like as a couple? If you don't do those things, then it's unmet expectations, and you're gonna fail at it, because how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know if you don't
talk about it?
You said so wisely. I'm gonna just tell you, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have married me if I was her. I was like, the financial piece specifically, who did you see? Because I'm like,
who got
my mindset, my provider ability was not there, not even close to what it is now.
Yeah.
But it's the beautiful thing is just being humble. I want to share one story to everybody real quick. I was, it brings me to tears. I might need the tissue.
Just don't do that. Oh my!
I didn't think I was crying, but I was glad to share this. 20 years ago, when we was engaged, about to be married, we were in a restaurant, and she was introduced me to a family member, important family member to her. And I had lost my job. I lost my job, y'all, when we was engaged. So I was like, oh, snap. I had a little reserve, but not much. But in the restaurant, that certain somebody went to the bathroom, and she literally, when we were engaged, she pulled out her purse, and she handed me a $50 bill so it could look like I was paying for the meal as the man, because she knew I didn't have it. And I'm going to just tell y'all, that's when I knew. I was like, wow.
Wow.
She's for me.
Mm-hmm.
She's for me.
you, man.
And she's always been that way. And so most of our marriage, she has been the main provider financially. And I'm not afraid to share that. And things are shifting. And she will never have to worry about money again. And it was never a competition. It was whoever the stream comes through, it comes through.
Right.
Yep.
And that's a whole nother episode we'll talk about. But if it's coming through the woman, hey, if she's a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. If I'm a millionaire, she's a millionaire. So it doesn't matter who makes the most money. It's our money.
Right.
And so that's how we do as well. Whatever is in the account is for both of us. And we have equal access and equal equality with it, and we discuss it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I just had to share that story because I was like, wow, she really wants to see me
That's
thrive.
big.
So
That's big.
Yes.
Come
Yes. Awesome woman of God.
So I've never shared that publicly. That's the first time I've shared that.
Woman of God.
Wow.
Yeah. You remember
Memories.
that, right?
Of course.
What I want to know, what were you thinking? Like in
Yeah,
that
I want to
moment,
know too, because I've never
like
discussed
sitting
it with her.
there and you decided, even though you lost your job, I'm going to go out to eat. I need to meet these people who are very intentional in her life, and I need to be there, knowing that I really don't have it.
No.
And just like you, like God had given me a glimpse of Jason in a season where I feel like he didn't even see himself that way before. And so I was able to navigate our friendship first and then our relationship from that place. I knew in that moment how he felt losing his job. But I never lost sight of who God showed me who he was and showed me his heart. And so in that moment, it was an opportunity to just affirm that. And I just didn't even think second guess it. And so it was an opportunity for me to just affirm him in a way, and just show like we're in this together. Like we two, my yes to his engagement was yes, and we're gonna start marriage counseling tomorrow.
We definitely.
I know you remember that. I'm like, yes, we celebrated the moment. I'm like, we started make that phone call like tomorrow. We're gonna start, marriage counseling like right now. And it was extensive. It really was. Like, like you said, if you are trying to get married, you're in a position where you're getting married, you're engaged, you want to go to counseling, get premarital counseling today. Have the difficult conversations now. Know what you're getting into. We were having a conversation the other day, like go through something first. Go through something together, and you'll find out who you're dealing with.
Yes.
And we had that opportunity, both of us, very early on, to be able to do that and know who we're dealing with. And that's what it was. It was an opportunity to affirm the man of God that he showed me he was.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much. This has been a tremendous blessing. We thank y'all so much for coming and giving your time. Is so valuable. Your wisdom and your marriage is a beautiful picture of Christ. It's a beautiful picture.
Y'all.
Appreciate y'all too. Thank you so much. Yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. We will be back for more. Make sure you watch part 1 and part 2 as well. This has been a rich time together. Get that pen and that pad. Take those notes. And continue.
Get in the comments.
Get in the comments.
Get it to a community of the comments. Get in there.
Listen, get in there. And we appreciate you all. Stay tuned. We'll be back for more. This has been your Rich Marriage Podcast with Jason and Jennifer Hall and our special guests, Corey and Tabitha Davis.
God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.